You're here, I'm pleased, I really feel your company. Your style, your smile, your pace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me. I was blind, now I can see what a king's supposed to be.
Excuse me, miss. I was in the waiting room when you gave your testimony. And what I realized is that we have an enemy in common. While you were being called to the office again, I was being put out the only home I've ever known. While you were shaking with anxiety and fear over something no one ever wants to hear, I was shaking in dread. Because we all know what happens to little girls that have no home and no one to claim them. I think our souls passed each other by. See, my soul left me a long time ago in a dingy motel room, ripped away by brutal force. It fled, unable to find its way back home.
Historical people, who would you want in your seat and why?
Wow. I guess because I'm different. You know, I'm not really starstruck. And so it would be hard to really pinpoint anybody in particular. First person that just came to my mind, you know, I mean, if I had an opportunity to cut Denzel, you know, I would.
That's a good one.
I'd do that.
That would be a dope conversation.
Exactly.
How important is diversity in your work, considering you grew up in a bilingual, bicultural home?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important. I think at this point, just in society, there's just so much diversity. You know, whether it be in language, whether it be in your upbringing, whether it be, you know, in whatever that is. And so I think growing up in, you know, a bilingual household as well as really a bicultural, despite the fact that, you know, my parents are you know, both of Hispanic descent, but growing up in two different cultures of, you know, very traditional values in the home and very different, and sometimes similar values, right, outside of the home, but in different ways, right?
Yeah.
He tests those whom he loves. I pray he continues to love me till my death. I pray he continues testing me and testing me and testing me until I have no questions left. Until I can ingest knowledge and choke on lies and spit out truth with every breath. But you see, until love for what he loves and hate for what he hates is the only thing that's left within my chest. I know that I will constantly fight to love what's right because I was created with a heart that sits slightly to the left. But I'm okay with that. Because I always knew and always know that he knows exactly what is best. You see, he knew that it would only be a matter of time before I would open my eyes and finally realize that I needed to look deep down inside and pull out the divide so that my heart and my mind would collide and learn to work together.
What's going on? What's going on, my good people, extraordinary family? We are back for another inspiring, impactful episode of Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People. I am your host, Willie Beeman. We back. Oh, we got some amazing ladies on today's show. And I think it's only right, I mean, in honor of Women's History Month, I think it's a great way to close it out strong. So without further ado, let me introduce both of these amazing ladies. The one to my left right here, she is assistant professor at the University of North Texas, holds degrees in practical theology, math teaching, and math education, PhD in curriculum and instruction with mathematics education. She is passionate about hands-on, tech-rich learning experiences, and also she is known for integrating robotics and drones into math education. Now, I have to introduce another amazing woman. Nearly 30 years of experience shaping minds in mathematics, degrees from Texas A&M, Dartmouth, and Illinois State University, recognized as a hidden figure of Dallas in STEM. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes. Co-author of best-selling books on culturally relevant math teaching, and last but not least, married to jazz saxophonist Claude Parker, proud mom of one son, Miss CJ. That's my guy. Online community, extraordinary family. Let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Dr. Queshonda Kudaisi, aka Dr. K,
Dr.
and
K.
also Dr. Yolanda Parker.
Thank you.
Yes. We made it, y'all.
I know, right? Now, hold on. I got to add my husband because I know he's going to be watching.
That's your husband, man.
So, only watch your Matthew Kudaisi and my 5 kids, Anna, Abigail, Alexander, and Ava.
Yes, yes. God shout out to the family. Amazing kids, amazing family.
They are.
Before we get to who you ladies are, what you do, brilliant minds that I was studying both of you guys' bios. I'm like, man, math is not a strong suit for me, but you guys have done an amazing job what you do and also working with us. And we'll get into that as well. So before we get into all that, I want to know, how did this relationship start? How did you meet, and where you guys see you guys going forward? Anyone of y'all get
Okay. So in 2023, we both were part of a teacher leader cadre through Texas Instruments. And that's a nationwide program where math educators are able to go through about a 2 or 3 day in-person professional development to learn about Texas Instruments. And then about 9 months after that, go through a follow-up virtual training. And so we met there, and I scanned the room, and she was the only other sister there. And so during the break, people tell me I don't ever meet a stranger. So I was talking to her.
So many times. Yeah.
So I introduced myself to her, and she was also, I think, one of the only people from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I was like, okay, well, really, that's cool. And then that's when she said to me,
I sent you an email.
My goodness.
So she said, did I respond? I said no. But I was actually, I sent her email to honor her, just as she's a hidden figure in Dallas. Yeah. She's also a well-known figure in math education for her work in culturally relevant pedagogy. So I was wanting to lift her up. I think it was for Black History Month.
Wow.
So, but she's a very busy woman and didn't respond. And I was like, she's right here. So that's kind of how we met.
Wow.
And I felt so bad. I'm getting better about checking emails, but I really felt bad. And then after that initial meeting, the library had a back to school festival.
Talked about it the other day. Yeah.
And so I introduced myself to Mike again, no stranger. Hi, you're the director. I would love to do some STEM program. And he said, yes, whatever you want to do, yes. And so we learned so much in that professional development. And I know how I am. Okay. And a lot of times when I go through, I've been teaching for several years, and I've gone to a lot of really, really good PDs or professional learning. And then when I come back, I don't really put it to use. And so I wanted to put this to use. And so I basically used Queshonda as my accountability partner. I said, I just made a connection with the library. I'm going to start doing STEM programming. Would you like to do it too? And she was just like, yeah, because the same situation, we learned such really good things.
Right.
We wanted to put it to use. And it's been really good because the things that stood out to me in the what we learned at TI was different from her. And so together we've become experts in different areas to really bring, I think, quality programming to the kids here in Forest Hill.
No, I definitely agree. No, the programs, man, has definitely been amazing partnering and working with you guys and me getting to know both of you in the 2 years that I've been here. It flew by so fast. I guess for the both of you, what do you feel like you've learned from each other in this journey of knowing each other, being around each other, doing these innovative programs? What qualities do you feel like you've learned from each other in order to push the next person forward?
I'll go since you started.
Yeah.
One of the things I've learned from Dr. Parker is classroom management. You know, when I was in the classroom, now I'm a professor, but when I was in the middle school and the high school classroom, I had pretty good classroom management. But I think like working with a much younger group was new for me. And Dr. Parker, she's just very like, we need to be able to hear each other, where I'm like, I'm just so into the excitement of it all that I kind of get lost in that. And so she's been great to kind of like whip us all back together and say, hold on now. We gotta be able to hear each other to learn from each other. Yes. So and even today, she did that. So that's one of the things that I have learned from her, among the many other things.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I admire about Queshonda is, well, math related, is she's a questioner. And a lot of times I won't ask questions and I'm just like, oh, well, I'll just figure it out, or I don't want to ask that. But she'll ask questions and I'm just like, I was thinking the same thing. And she'll ask questions, because when we were in our TLC with Texas Instruments, it was kind of like a fire hose. You know, it was a lot of information thrown at us, and not to speak bad about the program, because it's just good stuff. And we only had those 3 days in person. And then we had the next several months to kind of flesh it out. But during the session, they were about to go to the next thing. She's like, hold on. Wait a minute. What did you all say? And she would write it down. So she's really good about writing things down. Just before this started, she was saying there are some things that we've been trying to figure out. She said, I made a PowerPoint of it. I will share it with you so that we don't have to figure it out. And so that's something I don't take the time to kind of think things through and write it down, so that I don't have to start from scratch the next time. So that's one of the things I appreciate about her.
That's awesome. From what I hear from all of this is, number one, structure. I think structure is definitely important. That's one thing that I learned working here at this library, coming from background of warehouse. Hands-on, hard work, putting your body on the line, but then I'm coming here and it's more of an administrative office role. So I'm learning structure, I'm learning time management, I'm learning paying attention to detail from people like Rita and Michael, and it has been a challenge, but I'm getting through it. So I think number one, structure important, and then number two, I hear follow-up when you mentioned questions. So that's one thing that's definitely vital too, because the more questions we ask, we'll get to the root of the answer that we are looking for. So I think that's very vital. Let's turn this hot potato into you, Dr. Parker. You spent nearly 30 years in education. What has kept you inspired along this journey? What has been the battery behind your back that's keeping you going?
Learning new things. So when I was in the classroom, there was this big push from what I was, from what I remember so many years ago, there was a big push to do writing across the curriculum. And at the time, I wasn't very comfortable with my writing. I mean, I'm a math. Give me an equation, you know, I can work it out. But having to write something, I didn't have a fear of writing, but I wanted to be good at it.
Yes.
And so there was a teacher in my building. I taught at Morningside Middle School, and shout out to Alfreda Colvin. There was a reading teacher in my school who had gone through a graduate program at Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire. And it was perfect for teachers because you could do all of your coursework in the summer. You could do the actual entire program in the summer, 6 weeks at a time. You wouldn't have to resign from your job. You could just go in the summers and complete it. And so I did that program. And then the bug just hit me. I said, well, why stop with my master's? I want to keep going. And so it's always something new out there. And then especially going through my doctoral program, I learned so much. Getting comfortable with reading research. I don't read research as much now as I did back then, but the hunger for learning more. And then with this Texas Instruments opportunity, it's opened up a brand new world, because in addition to us going through the teacher leader cadre training, We also had the opportunity. Hi, sweetheart.
Pause right here.
Okay, when we're finished. Okay. So we
Shout out to the kids.
right.
Shout out to the kids. That's okay.
That's my CJ. We with the teacher leader. I have my train of thought. Okay, we in addition to the training that we had in the summertime, we also have the opportunity to become instructors, regional instructors and national instructors. And so there's even more professional learning. And there's a conference every year. So I just have a renewed thirst and hunger for knowledge. So that's what's kept me these 30 years. Just there's always something new to learn.
Yes.
So that's what keeps me excited.
I totally agree. That's one thing that I hear from Rita all the time is that no matter how old you get, you should be always learning something new, no matter what it is. You'd be surprised how many new things I've learned working at the library, from the computer systems that we have, or from Color High, checking in and out books and different things that we look for in regards to what books are in this area. And so, yeah, we should always be learning, no matter the age. Let's pivot. Let's shift to you, Dr. K. What excites you the most about your role at the University of North Texas as an assistant professor?
What excites me most is I'm getting paid to learn. As Dr. Parker said, and along with the question, I just have always been a learner. I have thought, what is it that I'm really good at? I can't sing, I can't really dance, but I can learn and I enjoy it. Yeah. And so I think really just getting paid to be able to continue learning. I've always really liked school. I mean, there was a period where it was a little rough, but I really always enjoyed school. And so now I have the opportunity to be at school for the rest of my career, you know, and get paid for it. So I think that's what excites me most. And I get to learn through my research. I get to learn through my teaching. I get to learn through the service work that I do. Yeah. So that's what excites me the most. I feel like I always say, Alexandra, yes. I always say that even when I first started teaching, I always felt like I was volunteering, but getting paid for it.
I see.
And that's what it continues to feel like. It's truly something that I love and enjoy to do. I was up preparing for the program we just did at 6:00 in the morning. And I was just saying to myself, Lord, I'm so glad that I get to do something that I actually enjoy.
Wow. Yeah, I hope y'all caught that, viewers, listeners. Yes, I think that makes so much sense. And even I can definitely relate to that. This is a space to where I find joy. I remember having a library director, Erica Richardson from Benbrook Library last year. And she was like, one thing that I try to help my staff understand is, what's your library joy? What are those things that you like to do when you wake up every morning and come to the library? And so for me, having the ability to see it and interview people like you guys, people from all walks of life, and have dialogue and understand and know their stories through the lens of education and literacy, whatever that looks like, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a librarian, whether you're a mathematician like you ladies are, whether you're a fitness coach, or whatever it is, that's my joy. And I feel like the Lord has definitely put me in position to do that. There's this quote that I say a lot on the shows. I follow God, Dr. Darius Daniels, business leader, spiritual leader. And he always says that the highest level of compensation is not money. The highest level of compensation is fulfillment. And so just because your bank account is full doesn't mean that your heart is. That's true. Because we can be doing a lot of things, but on the back end, we're miserable, we're frustrated, we don't want to be there, we're isolated. And so for me, fulfillment is everything. So I'm glad that you ladies enjoy what you do, man. So we definitely love having you. Back to Dr. Parker.
Okay. Welcome back. This is going to be interesting. 6 children, or 4.
What do you enjoy most about teaching statistics and math for teachers at TCC?
Oh, wow. So with statistics, and I also teach pre-calculus, and I have started to find joy in that. And I shouldn't say, well, I never didn't like it, but I haven't always taught pre-calculus, so I'm enjoying that. But what I love about statistics is when students take, for instance, college algebra, it's you're going to learn this rule. The whole class is solving for X. When I tell students, I'm like, you're solving for X. It's a lot of different ways that you're trying to find what X is,
Right.
but the majority of the class, we're solving for X. You may have to factor, you may have to muddle through some things.
Right.
We're trying to solve for X. So, but it seems like it takes so much information in the class to where it's just all these rules, and students start to get a little flustered and frustrated because it doesn't look like that's all I'm doing. Every week we're doing something different.
Right.
So, lady, I'm confused, and you're telling me that it's just solving for X, but it does not look or feel like that.
Yeah.
But with statistics, now X changes throughout the class, but on day one, Z is a Z score. And then on the last day of class, Z is a Z score. On day one, N represents the sample size. At the end of the class, N represents the sample size. And so what I love it, and you look at me like, what you talking about?
I'm about to go back to school.
But what I love about statistics is that it truly builds. What you learn at the beginning of the class truly builds throughout the course, and even though you're learning new things, you're still applying what you learned even at the beginning of the class. And it's real world. You can, during the pandemic, I had a student who emailed me because during the pandemic we kept on talking about flattening the curve. Do you remember every news story was talking about flattening the curve? Well, that's the normal distribution curve. Is that my baby? So flattening the curve, that's the normal curve. I'm going this way, goes up and then goes down. It's the bell curve. And so during COVID, we were trying to flatten the curve. I had a student who emailed me and said, I finally understand what you've been talking about with normal distribution when they talk about flattening this curve. And I said, yes,
real world
exactly.
connection.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I love about statistics. But what I like about teaching math for teachers is there have been so many students who have had light bulb moments, and they're saying, I wish I had learned math this way when I was in elementary school, because maybe I wouldn't have this phobia that I have. Or the ones who are really good at math, they're just like, I only learned the rules and I never understood why. And so now I understand it. So both of those classes have those kind of things that just makes it applicable to students. And then pre-calculus, it's a challenge for me right now, just because I want to make sure that students are truly ready for calculus, that pre-calculus, that it really serves its purpose, that they can do that. And so I just love challenging myself to find ways to make it make sense to them.
Yes. That would be helpful for me. Yeah, that is not, I think one of my favorite subjects in school was English. Always, writing and grammar and stuff like that. And so, yeah, math, that was always a struggle for me. So, question for the both of you, where did this desire for math education come from? You being at UNC now, you being at TCC, want to peel back a layer. Where did this hunger and desire for math education? Was it a family member? Was it, what was it?
That's a great question. So right from when I can remember, I've always just really enjoyed math.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do things well too in school. When eventually, again, I like to give the disclaimer, there was a rough patch. But yeah, I just always wanted to do well. And English, so let me just say, I was good in all the subjects.
Right.
I'll say that. But English, I felt like I would always get like a 99 or a 98. And I'm like, because I didn't put a period or I didn't put a comma. And with math, I was like, you can all, X equals 5. That's the answer. Or it might be 2 values for X, but a number is a number. Now, eventually, when I started my PhD, we had to start writing papers and reading and all of that. And that was a challenge for me. But for just math, I just always loved it because, there was always an answer.
Wow, I love that. Well said.
But math education, so teaching, is actually, I really fell in love with education in general.
Yeah.
I had really amazing teachers who, that was where they cultivated a love for learning. They inspired me in so many different ways. Yeah. And so I just really always loved school. And when I was thinking about what I would teach, it was just because I liked math.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, well, I'll be a math teacher. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should have did science, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm trying to make math a little bit more like science, where it is more hands-on.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Dr. Parker.
So I have two answers to this. One, and kind of like math versus math education. So I've always loved math. And I remember at the end of the year in kindergarten when we had the disposable books, and there were some pages at the back that we didn't get to, and the teacher was going to throw them all away. And I was just like, what? I didn't care about any of the other books. I don't even remember if any of the other books were disposable, but that math book, I said, can I keep mine? And my teacher, Miss Rivercombe, let me keep my book. And I taught my stuffed animals math from those few pages the whole summer after. And so that was it. I wanted to be a teacher, and I've always been intrigued by math. I've always, learned the rules. I never did question it. So I feel like I learned it all over again when I went through my doctoral classes. Yeah. But I've always loved math. And then with the math education piece of it, I knew I wanted to, well, at one point I wanted to be an actuary, but somewhere along the way, and an actuary is a person who does the calculations in your insurance company to figure out the insurance rates.
That sounds fun.
And figures out like 16-year-old males need to pay more for insurance because statistics say that they're a little risk takers. So actuaries do calculations like that. So at one point I did want to be an actuary, but then I decided to go into teaching. And my first year of teaching, I replaced a veteran teacher. Wow. She had been in the classroom for probably, I don't know how long she had been in the classroom, but she had been in for a long time. And she left to go into an administrative role, and she wasn't going to come back into the classroom. And her son was one of my students.
Interesting.
And so she left all of her manipulatives in the classroom. She left everything. And it was a blessing, but I had gone to school as a math major. I wasn't an education major, because at that time at Texas A&M, even if you wanted to teach, you majored in the content area. And then I was supposed to major, then graduate, then do student teaching after graduating. So I had maybe one education class, maybe. And so I didn't know how to use these manipulatives. I didn't know how to use any of that. And one of the things when I went into graduate school, and then once I started teaching future teachers, that has been my mission in life, for them to know how to use every manipulative that's out there. The students call me manipulative queen. I never forget one day I was trying to use, I don't remember what it was, but I had never seen it before. And I'm sitting here trying to figure it out in front of the students. And so they're just like, 8th graders. You don't know how to use that, do you? No, I don't. How about you show me? So,
wow.
But I will never forget. It's like it was just yesterday. And I remember the student who said that. And I remember the student who said, I won't say their name. But no, I still keep in touch with that particular student now. But I just know for math ed, that's my thing is I want students to know the resources that are out there for them, because of, like you said, the hands-on is so critical and so crucial for students. So that is something that helped me understand math better. And so I want them to understand it from the beginning.
Wow.
Better. Yes.
Wow.
Love it.
The fact that you were able to continue on and figure out this problem, like the students.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I really do think I had them come up and I was like, please show me. I don't know how to use this.
Sometimes they know more than what we know in certain areas.
It was a safety compass. I had never seen a safety compass before. I was used to the one that has a little thing that looks like it could hurt you and it was a ruler. And so I was like, I don't know how to use it. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry.
Question for the both of you. I had to ask this one because, like I said earlier, math has always definitely been a weak area for me, and I know I'm gonna need it now. So I told you I was gonna go back to school. I'm going to go to TCC Northeast to become a sports analyst broadcaster, and so I know the core classes are necessary, the math, the English, the science, and all of that. And so I know I'll need it because you think about analytics, you think about player stats, you think about team stats. I'm going to have the ability to use numbers. So I definitely know it's helpful. So question for the both of you. Can you both share a moment when you saw a student truly get it in math to where you were like, aha, they both got it? Or was there any recent moments in you guys' classes to where the practices you put in place, the things you put in place, they picked it up and end up learning it?
That's a good question. I'll share. It's something very basic. So I teach elementary teachers who are going to go on to teach math, and so there's a lot of new methods out there for elementary math teaching that I did not learn. That's not how I learned when I went through elementary school. And so one of the strategies I believe is long division. And so the typical way you do long division is, there's like 4 divided by, 5, 46. And we actually did it using manipulatives. And then we connected the manipulatives to the standard algorithm. And we were doing it in a way that they weren't used to, but made way more sense actually than what they were taught. Because the way that it's taught now is more conceptual. And so instead of saying carry the 1, we actually talk about what it means when you're carrying a 1, right? Like a new 10 is being awesome. Created. And they're like, oh, this makes sense. So the new math is not as bad as they say it is. So that's one that I can remember. And it's division for some reason. Is the concept. Yeah.
I was doing division a couple of weeks ago. I was doing this shows my goofy sense of humor. So I was doing division the other day with my future teachers, and I was saying, when you did long division, you would say 4 goes into 5. How many times? Even though it was 500. And I said I said to them, the gazentas didn't make sense to you, and they said gazentas. And I said the gazentas 4 goes into 5, 4 gazentas, and they said, oh. And so we did teach it. I did work with them on the conceptual way, but there are a lot of moments in those future math teacher classes where they have the aha moments. But like with my pre-calculus students, they finally get why fractions are important. Because when you're in a majority of pre-calculus is trig, and a lot of trig has to do with fractions, with pi over 4, pi over 3. If you're adding radians, and because when they get into calculus, they can deal with degrees, but and I don't teach the calculus sequence, but the calculus instructors tell me, they can't use degrees, but we usually are in radians. And so I feel like every class, I say, you need to refresh your memory on fractions. Go to Khan Academy. Ask your little brother or little sister or your child may enjoy tutoring you. They may get a kick out of tutoring mommy, auntie, uncle.
Or your nieces, nieces and nephews.
Yeah. So that when they finally realize, oh, you weren't playing. I'm like, yeah, you do have to refresh your memory on that. And so many and then also learning their trig identities. So many of the students who have had me say, I finally understand trig after taking your class. And so that made me feel better because I had never taught trig before. And that's a huge part of pre-calculus, which I just started teaching that maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. Because my classroom K-12 experience was in the middle school. And so the highest level that I taught was geometry.
Gotcha.
And so I had never taught trig, but I enjoy it. I'm really enjoying it. And I think it's because I like the hands-on and the fact that you can relate it to something. Because trig is all dealing with triangles. So yeah.
Well said. Whew, y'all all preparing me for
We got you, Willie.
Definitely be calling both of y'all. I can't make it school. I get stuck. I'm calling Dr. Parker. I need help, please.
Absolutely.
Another blended question for you guys. How would you describe your teaching philosophy in today's classroom? You guys both mentioned different math methods, different math teachings now in regards to what you guys were doing prior. So how would you describe your philosophy now individually in the classroom?
Students, we have a lot of competition with social media, right now. Like students are so immediate driven, and also getting things in nuggets to where and I'm fine with that. There has to be some kind of a connection. It's not just here's the rule and do it. They need to understand why. And so I try my best to make sure that students understand what the connection is. And not everything can be, not everything is going to be relevant to them. Not everything is going to make 100% sense to them, but I still try to make the effort for it to have some kind of a connection to something. And then it challenges me because one of the things that I did last semester is I connected so you asked about statistics and math for teachers, but pre-calculus has been in my brain. I connected pre-cal and music. And my husband really got a kick out of, so I asked him one question and he kind of gave me anyone who knows my husband knows that you can't ask him just one question. And both of us are talkative, but when it's something that he loves like music, yes. So he gave me the full rundown on music, but I appreciated that. And so sine and cosine waves, and tying that into music and sound waves. Wow. So that was something that, cool. and I had some students who were musicians, and so I could see them saying, oh, okay. Yeah. So just making it make sense, and connecting it to the best of my ability to their lives. That's something that I challenge myself to try to do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I would, I have to agree. I know it's separate, but I have to agree. But to add to that, I'm a very like constructivist based teacher, where it's like, again, the hands-on, where students are constructing knowledge as they are doing, right? Like learning by doing, I think it makes the difference. And I think connecting it to like what's around them, what they see. There's a scholar, I think Rochelle Gutierrez, who talks about like learning experiences should be representative of windows and mirrors. So mirrors is what Dr. Parker is saying, like they see themselves in their learning, right? That's amazing. Whereas windows, this is where it might not always be connected, but then they get to see like other people and, you know, their ways of doing or whatever. So a window is like they're looking out and seeing what others are doing.
I like that. That's dope.
Connecting to their lives, providing opportunities to see the lives of others, and then like it being hands-on, where they're constructing their own learning. There was a project I used to do when I was in the classroom, and it was constructing bridges. So I taught geometry for most of the time that I taught. And so this bridge construction activity that I would have them do, it was typically like in a quadrilaterals unit or in a triangles unit. And they had to like not only build the bridge, right, like with actual materials. So we would have popsicle sticks, or one year I did, what's the thing you clean your teeth with, toothpicks. So they would construct the bridge with that, but they would have to tell me like the properties of the shapes that they were using and why one shape was better than another shape, right? But then I, as a teacher, tried to represent my students. So I went and found bridges from like Costa Rica and Puerto Rico and you know, Jamaica, because I for all of the time I taught K-12 was in Florida, and so it was very diverse, just like Texas. But in Florida, I felt more so like you had a lot of island influence. And so I went and found bridges from all over, and so it was connected to them, but they also got to see, and I also like to show up as myself, so I went and got like bridges from where I was from, and so it was connected to their learning. It was hands-on, right, like they were building, but then they were also learning about the math, because as much as like students want to run away from the math, I still have to make sure that they're learning it, right? And so with all of that, we also still have to have a math in there.
Well said. I think it's very important in implementing things that piques the interest of these students. You guys are mentioning the bridges and where they're from, and also, you know, being yourself and adding your personality. You know, I think when it comes to building relationships with anybody, the root word that you have to have the ability to relate, to whoever that student is.
Yeah.
And so, that's amazing. The music thing, I would never would have thought that. That's
and
cool.
actually, the work here has sparked my interest in music, because the very first, and we need to get that baby to come back. The very first, we'll talk after this.
Not the name, but like.
I can't say without a name. You'll know when I say this. The very first session that we did, it was Christmas 2023. We at the end, at the end we asked the student. You'll know when I say this. At the end we asked the students, did they, how was it, whatever. And this one student said, I didn't enjoy it. The only reason why I wanted to be here was because I got to spend some time with my sister. I wish I had some music. And so ever since then, I have been incorporating music. She's like, I really like music. I don't really like, you know how some kids are brutally honest because they think that they're hurting your feelings, so they just say,
like, that's helpful.
Right. They say like the meanest thing that they can say. And not necessarily with this girl, but she was just like, I enjoy it. But she gave us a nugget. And so ever since then, I have been incorporating music in our sessions, but then it spilled over into the pre-calculus, because I even though I did talk to Claude about some of the music theory, I had already started refreshing my memory on music theory with the sessions that we did with the hub. So that's where that came from.
I love that. And I think like that is when we want to become teachers, right? Like we're typically creative in some way.
Yes, I totally agree.
And sometimes like education can suck that out of you a little bit with how rigid curriculum is, but I think like we as teachers do have some freedom to be creative, and I love that Dr. Parker does that, because I was like, that's cool. I've never thought about connecting math with music until she did it in our session. I think it's really cool.
And the more I do it, the more fun it is.
Of course.
Yeah, she brings in very relevant songs. Like when we did a session here, and the World Series was going on, I think, so she taught them to Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Oh, that's cool.
Songs and a couple other more controversial ones, but
not necessarily. Boots on the ground, and they not like us.
Yeah, they not like us. But it was really popular at the time, and the students really connected with that, and they all knew it, and so I was just like, this is nice. This is nice.
And I'm brutally honest. I was just like, what song is this, y'all? What song is this? I don't know. It sound like a Halloween song. The way that I coded it, so they were like, I don't know what that is. So
it's cool though. It's really cool.
So back to the drawing board.
No, y'all mentioned something that was powerful, because you could have took it in a different way. These kids being brutally honest with you, instead of taking it as an offense. You're like, okay, that's an aha moment for me. I can use that and incorporate that into my math education. So that's having a listening ear and active in your listening skills and taking those things and implementing them. And being creative, I think that's a blessing here. With Michael, man, he gives us so much freedom to be creative.
Michael's amazing.
Shout out to my guy. Executive director, man. It's definitely. I shared it was one of my younger brothers, Darrell. I like, bro, in 36 years of my life, this probably has been one of the best opportunities that I've had, man. And meeting people and building partnerships and programs that we do. And then people that live in this city, man, have been here to 30, 40 years and getting to know them and know why they've been here and the history of this library, man. And it's been an amazing thing. And so, shout out to my guy, Michael Harger. Yeah, it's definitely been cool. Let's pivot.
Okay.
Another blended question for the both of you. Talk about some of your most memorable experiences partnering with the Forest Public Library.
It's a great segue.
Impact through STEM programming.
I'm
pretty sure there's
I'll start. I wanted to, when you were saying shout out to Michael, I'm like, I wanted to say something.
Oh yeah.
But no. Well, that's a great segue. This has been the absolute best partnership that I've had. And I've had a lot of partnerships. I've partnered with middle schools. I've partnered with elementary schools. I've partnered with the city. I've had a lot of community engagement partnerships.
Yeah.
And I think this has been the most amazing one because of the creativity that Michael allows. And then also just the support from the library, like with you and with all of the staff that work at the front desk. It's just been an amazing partnership. And I think all of our goal is to provide quality STEM programming. And y'all really y'all have really been partners in helping us to do that.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's been an amazing experience.
Yeah, we don't mind getting in the trenches with y'all, man. I see you family.
Yes.
And
So.
I've always had an interest in literacy and math and tying it together, and haven't done it as much with our programs here until today, and that was so much fun.
It was amazing.
That was a lot of fun. But there hasn't been any bad experience with this. Everything has been so seamless. Y'all, again, you all respect our creativity. And you trust us.
Yes.
And we trust you all. Y'all trust us with the programming, and we trust y'all get the people here. If you build it, they will come.
Exactly.
So every time we've had a room full. And what actually was endearing to me today was that the parents stayed. I had gotten used to the parents not staying. When we had our first one in December and the parents dropped them, I was like, where y'all going? That's how, and I mean, I only have my one son, so whenever I take him somewhere, I'm staying the whole time for various reasons. But and I love that my baby wants me around. So if he wants me around, I'm going to stay. So I had gotten used to the parents not staying, and so we had 3 or 4 parents that were there today. So
I noticed that.
I was like, come on, but they're hearing about it and they want to see what the kids are doing, and so I just love that. And last summer when y'all did the carnival and the different activities, you do this, you get 5 tickets, you do this, you get 2 tickets, and however many tickets y'all, I can't remember how Alexandra said
they told us 40.
Yeah, Alexandra remembered that it was 40. The fact that we gave 40 tickets, they were just I love that, and so that showed that you all saw the value in what we were doing. So
And the responses, I'm glad you mentioned that. Just the responses of the kids almost every time. Now they might critique us, they ain't gonna close their mouth about that, but the joy that they experience, like, this makes sense, and I use math, and I was able to fly the drone, and so just their response is just so fulfilling for me. So
even though it was hard,
and they say coding is hard. But I loved it. I enjoyed it. Can we come back tomorrow? It's just today, but we'll have the camp in the summer. So they really
this was just a commercial.
And the parents too. The parents were like, when can we sign up? So the buy-in from parents has also been amazing.
Yes. That to me, that shows the impact, of these programs that you ladies are putting in place. I remember last year when I think we was in the room, one of y'all was showing me how to use the drone. I was like, man, I feel like a kid in the candy store, man. This is pretty cool. But
especially when it starts flipping.
We didn't do the flips.
We didn't. Come back in June. The flipping drones.
No, but today's program was definitely amazing. Getting video footage and photos of families being engaged, all those.
He wants to know what fun we're having.
What's up, CJ?
You don't have to edit him out.
Yeah. But now today was great. I had a lot of fun. I look forward to the summer. I look forward to the program in the summer. Let's shift back to Dr. Parker. Right. Talk about your recognition being honored as a 2017 Hidden Figures of Dallas Top Women of Color in STEM. Talk about their recognition.
That was a pretty amazing moment, and it gets more amazing when I reflect on it because at the time Eddie Bernice Johnson was still alive, and she
just one of the
Eddie Bernice Johnson. Jasmine Crockett took her place as a representative.
Oh wow!
So Representative Eddie Bernice Johnson was a really big advocate of STEM. And so when we were recognized by the NSBE DFW Professionals chapter at the gala that they had, she came and presented us with an award, and so that was a highlight of the moment. But it was right after Hidden Figures, the movie had come out, and so everyone was really into STEM and celebrating Black women in STEM. So it was an amazing. I keep on saying amazing, but it was really cool, and I was honored by the company that I was in. The other ladies who were recognized. And we formed a bond. We formed this sisterhood. Like we still have a group chat. We haven't been as active in it as we were at the beginning, but we used to meet up and have group chats. And I had not had CJ yet, and so after he was born, some of them. So he was born in March. And so like in July of that year, two of the ladies wanted to meet me for lunch. And so I was like, okay. And so when I showed up without him, they were like, where's the baby? My man. So yeah, they are his aunties, but they were not happy with me. They were, I said, I thought this was a girls trip. I'm sorry, I'm new to this mother thing, but they're his aunties, and they are really. It's a really good sisterhood of women. But I was recognized by the NSBE DFW Professionals chapter, and I appreciated them for that.
And she deserves it because she's so amazing. Yeah. Like she doesn't have to be doing the work here that she's doing.
I totally agree. She does it. Yeah, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. It has to be something that you have a passion and love for. And so, I totally agree.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. K, I told you gonna play some potato, man. Staying in this vein of STEM, your research explores STEM learning in informal spaces. What drew you to these specific areas? What was the backstory behind that?
Yeah, so like I said, I always loved math when I was in school, but I remember they had this thing. I think I must have been in like 6th or 7th grade. I don't know if it was called Zoom, but it was some extracurricular thing. And I was so sad not to do it. Snacks is why I first started going anyway, because I wanted the snacks. But the experiences kept me there. So a lot of the stuff we do here was similar, but it wasn't so tech heavy. So it was like the bridge project that I ended up doing later in my classroom, and building towers and building cars. And he would take us to these STEM bowls where we would like solve math questions to try to beat the other team. And it was just such an enriching and just fun experience. Like I just absolutely loved it. And now that's what I ended up doing. And when I was I actually started a nonprofit. So when I was a teacher, I started a nonprofit called Narrow Path Outreach Incorporated, which is a faith-based nonprofit. And I started my own after-school program like that. And I would meet twice a week with elementary school students and do the same kind of things with them. And then when I got over here to Texas, I was like, oh, I can do this kind of thing for research, And so that's when I got it into the research side of it.
Gotcha.
But that's what kind of inspired the STEM informal experiences.
Gotcha. Yeah. I want to stay there. Talk a little bit more about your nonprofit. It wasn't in here, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, so my nonprofit, like I said, is called Narrow Path Outreach Incorporated, and it's based on the scripture, Matthew 7:13-14, that says, narrow is the road that leads to life.
Yes.
And narrow and hard is the road that leads to life, and few find it. And broad and wide is the way that leads to destruction.
Yes.
So is a part of it is STEM programs, but as a whole organization is really about supporting people to be on the narrow road. And the STEM part of it is we provide experiences at little to no cost for children in the community, and we try to disciple them as well. So in addition to some kind of STEM activity, we connect it to the scriptures.
Wow.
And so one summer we had a Lego themed STEM camp, and of course they were building Legos, but then the spiritual side of that was building your life on the solid rocks, which is Jesus Christ.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can definitely relate to that. That's something that we try to highlight. I told you earlier, I said that I have multiple podcasts. Shout out to my brother Troy with Spotlight Media Group. So with sports therapy, we try to take the same concept, not only highlight athletes, what they do on and off the field, on and off the court, but also try to implement scripture in regards to, who they are, whether it's mental health, whether it's emotional intelligence, whether it's hardship, whether it's peace, joy, whatever it is, we try to implement those things, so I think that's very, very valuable. I love the correlation. That's cool.
And I want to jump in.
Earlier
when you were asking what we admire about each other, and I went on the math side, I admire her spirituality. We pray before every workshop.
I love it.
And when we haven't prayed, I'm like, ooh, girl, come on.
Let's make sure we get
Yes.
My God.
And then she'll come and get me too. Like today, she's like, let's pray before we start.
Absolutely.
I love that, man. I mean, scripture says there's two are better than one.
That's true.
Reward. So, y'all need each other.
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all need each other. Let's get to, I guess, partnerships and the importance of partnerships, things of the sort. How do you see the roles of community colleges and universities evolving in STEM education? What do you feel like that looks like in today's society?
I will start because I am so proud of TCC. There are so many programs and certifications that you can get through TCC. We have cybersecurity. We have a partnership with Toyota. And so because we have an automotive department, automotive program, a certificate. And so there's a partnership with Toyota. We have a partnership with Texas A&M with engineering. So we listen to the community and the needs that are out there and address them. And a lot of these are on the South Campus, but we're one college. And so any campus has different opportunities for you to, you don't have to go through an entire degree program, a 2-year associate's program. You can spend a few months and get that certificate and then be able to go back into the community. We have a program for veterans. Like all you have to be is a veteran. And it's a semiconductor. So like it's veterans, and one of my colleagues, shout out to Dr. Natalie Johnson, has a grant, and what I love about her is that at the community college, you don't have to do research. You don't have to write grants. And she seeks these grant opportunities because she was an engineer when she was in industry.
Wow.
And so she knows firsthand what is out there, what students need to know in order to be successful. And she's bringing the funding to TCC in order for us to put people out in the industry who are educated in engineering and know about the semiconductor. And so I just think that we have so many amazing opportunities. Our nursing program is top notch. It's very competitive. So it's just so many things. And a lot of people don't think of healthcare and nursing with STEM, but I think I don't understand why.
They've added an extra M actually now for medical.
Well, good. Because I don't understand why health isn't considered STEM. So I think the community college, a lot of people say, well, I can do X, Y, Z without getting an education. Yes, you can. That is true. I don't want to incur that cost just to get some piece of paper where you're not getting a piece of paper. You're getting the knowledge, you're getting the experience, you're getting the mentorship from your professors, especially like with us, with education, we've been teachers. And so we are mentors. We're not just professors, we're mentoring them. So I think that the community college for sure has a place in this, in the community. And then in addition to the educational aspects, we offer programs for the community. We offer free tax prep. We offer...
Trisha just told us about that.
Yeah.
Trisha told me
and
about that.
we're about to open So in April, the applications are opening up for a child care facility is going to be on South Campus.
And that's really cool.
Wow.
And it's for up to 18 months up to pre school 5.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but like
pre-K-5.
Yeah, so you're not in school, so you're not in pre-K,
right,
in a school that has a pre-K, so up to 5 years. If your children are 5 or younger, they're not in school,
right,
then apply, and it's going to open up in July.
Kids at college.
Say that again.
Kids at college.
What do you mean?
Like that's another program that y'all have, right?
Oh yeah, the College for Kids.
Oh, College for Kids.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
I thought you were saying, because I thought you were saying the kids at college, because priority for the child care facility is given to students and faculty who have
really
children
cool.
who are in those who are those ages. But yes, College for Kids. We have so much that people don't even really know about. Yeah. And I know I'm missing some things, but
it's okay. Y'all heard all the resources.
Yes, tccd.edu.
Yes. Yeah. What about for you working at UNT?
Yeah, UNT I think also has some really great things. Like they have a lot of programs for kids in the community.
Yeah.
So their music program, which is they say almost like one of the top music schools.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they have camps, probably 15, 20 different camps that they offer to kids in the community. Their science, their College of Science also has, it's called Import Center, and they have camps that run all summer long.
Awesome.
Their College of Information also has camps that run throughout the summer. So they are really connected with the kids, and providing programs for them. I recently opened up my new lab there.
Wow.
So it's cert.unt.edu.
That's cool.
It's called the STEAM Education Research and Collaboration Lab.
Wow.
So it's CERC Lab, and this a part of the work that I do here is connecting with the community. And then I bring people from all across DFW. We've had Duncanville ISD come up and do field trips to UNT, and we had so many people reach out as well. We also have micro credentialing, and so I think the university probably, across the field has made community connections, community partnerships really important. We have I don't know if it's a center, but it's called Trend, and their main work is connecting the university with schools.
Wow.
And with ISDs, and so I think just across the field right now, community partnerships is being prioritized.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Busy day for both of y'all, but thank you, Dr. K, Dr. Parker.
Thank you for
what
having
you
us.
guys are doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank
Going forward. This is Ordinary Conversations with Extraordinary People, and I can say that we had an extraordinary conversation on today, man. We see y'all soon. Peace.
Hey, y'all.